What's up, guys? It's your boy Mayhem Matthew. Not sure what happened to the intro there, but it's okay.
I got
From
it.
his family. Was out on the field pretty much the whole entire first half.
Got a lot of great games. I'm highlighting 2 SEC games.
Let's
And
go.
now you can go. So sorry, I did not set it to automatic, and so it didn't play. I didn't have anything set, but I think we're good now.
All right. So today we have a jam-packed episode for you today. This might be a solid banger of a show because we're going to be reacting to Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James. We're going to be talking about House versus NCAA settlement. We're also going to be talking about some Oklahoma football news. We're going to be talking about some college football's most impactful transfers of the portal era. We're going to be talking
Yep.
about some quarterbacks that are poised to silence critics in 2025. We're going to buy or sell the most hyped teams in 2025. And then to end the stream, we are going to play a little game of you are the father or you are not the father because tomorrow is Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to those who are fathers. And so we're going to play that little game to end the stream. We're going to have a little bit of fun. So with that being said, if you like the content, please smash the thumbs up. And if you really like the content, the subscribe button. It is completely free of charge. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. Let's get into it.
All right. Let's react to some Stephen A. Smith and LeBron news. Go ahead and jump us off here.
Stephen A. and LeBron, or the Stephen A. and then LeBron?
Yes.
Confused now.
Stephen A. and then
See,
LeBron.
the way you and then LeBron. Okay, yeah. Okay. Stephen A. Smith was at the NBA Finals this week, of course, pretty much every game, and he was there at Game 4. He has responded to a viral solitaire photo from the NBA Finals Game 4, and this is put out from Bleacher Report. It says, yeah, we got it. Got a good layout there. Okay. ESPN personality Stephen A. Smith took to social media Friday night to explain the viral photo that showed him playing solitaire on his phone during Game 4 of the NBA Finals between the Oklahoma City Thunder, Mayhem's team, of course. Shout out to you. And the Indiana Pacers. In response to the photo, Smith admitted that he was indeed playing solitaire, but he noted he was multitasking and said the photo was taken during a timeout. It says, "Yep, that's me. Who would have thought I can multitask, especially during timeouts? Hope y'all are enjoying the NBA Finals. This is going 7 games now, peeps." Legion Hoops put it out. Stephen A. locked in on solitaire during the NBA Finals. And of course, as you can see, you can zoom in just a bit. He is indeed playing solitaire. Mayhem, do you blame him?
Okay, so like, I mean, this is blown completely out of proportion, and I don't know. People, literally, people get paid to make headlines like this, and blow things out of proportion and stuff like that, and to make things go viral like this. This is completely normal. Uh, if you took a picture of every single person's phone at some point in the game, they might be sending a text message to their family. They might be playing solitaire. They might be, watching a YouTube video, or you see this quite often, during either boring parts of games, or maybe a timeout, as Stephen A. Smith is is saying right here. We see this in different sports other than football and basketball, and the sports that we talk about. We see this in also in the world of wrestling as well. It's a 3-hour show, and you know sometimes you don't have interest in all 3 hours, and you might want to look at your phone real quick and see what's going on social media, or you might want to listen to what this person's got to say, and you can't wait till you get home, or maybe you just want to play a game of solitaire real quick. You know, Stephen A. Smith is a busy guy. He talks about sports all day long, and this is his job. This is what he does as his profession. And so, have you ever been at work and had a 10-15 minute break, or even a 30-minute break, and you get on your phone and play a game of solitaire? I mean, same exact thing. This is the same exact scenario. He's literally at his job, doing his job, uh, taking some notes for this game that he could talk about on his podcast, or talk about on ESPN First Take, or whatever show that he's on. And then during the timeout, he's taking a little break, playing some solitaire. I mean, this is completely fine, and I don't really have any um, hot takes, or I'm not really upset about this. This is completely normal.
I mean, let the man have his fun. I mean, he works hard. He's earned it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. So my reaction to Stephen A. Smith is, well, you know what? It good for him, I guess. I hope he's winning. I hope he's winning. But yeah, he did respond. Yep, that's me. Who would have thought I can multitask, especially during timeouts, which he put in all caps. I think he wanted to clarify, hey, this was during a timeout when I'm not working.
You know what this reminds me of? You know what this reminds me of, Ballard?
What's that? What's that?
It's like, let's just say you're at work and you're on a 15-minute
Uh-huh.
break, and your coworker wants to tattletale on you, and he takes a picture of your phone, of you on your phone, and you're playing solitaire on your 15-minute break. He runs over to the manager and says, "Look, uh, Christian's on his phone. He's not working, right?" And then taking that completely out of context, your manager comes in. What are you doing? And then I'm on my 15-minute break. I mean, I can do this. I can look at for my phone. I can look at my phone for about 15 minutes. What are you talking about? Oh, okay, that's fine. And then you go about your business. I mean, I just think whoever took this photo is just being either, like I said earlier, just trying to get some content. Trying to get some content and blow this out of proportion, or just trying to be a Karen in general.
Yeah, absolutely. Something else we wanted to react to, at least you brought it up. I am not sure what LeBron's in the news for this time, but do you care to change gears a little bit and enlighten us?
Well, I know you had sent me a video, and I don't know if you wanted to pull it up or not, but of
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Hold on. Hold up. And that's right.
yeah, of
It's-
some kid dunking on LeBron. I have not seen this video, So this is going to be news to me.
Yes, I gotta be careful because this is actually from a friend. Hold on, let me see. Yeah. So LeBron was in the news, or at least I don't know how old this video is, Mayhem. I will say that, but this was sent to me on Facebook from a friend, so I'm gonna show you this, and I want your thoughts on this. A 12-year-old did this to LeBron James. Let me know what you think.
Now, I think LeBron, this is what we mean when he say no bag. Watch, right here. These are same handles in the NBA right here. 12-year-old stripped the ball from him, dunked on him. Come on, man. You think a 12-year-old gonna steal a ball from Michael Jordan and dunk on him? Stop it. All right, here goes some hidden footage right here of a 12-year-old. Now, I think LeBron, this is what we mean when he say no bag. Watch, right here. These are same handles in the NBA right here.
Keep watching.
12-year-old stripped the
This
ball
is
from him,
awesome.
dunked on him. Come on, man. You think a 12-year-old gonna steal a ball from Michael Jordan?
All right.
I
Okay.
think
What do you think? 12-year-old dunking on LeBron James.
yeah, I just think
I
don't
mean,
think it was.
is it
I don't.
come that is it has he stooped that low in his career, do you think? Like to where 12-year-olds can now dunk on him? Or does that 12-year-old have skill and maybe he needs to go play for the Lakers?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he's not. Number one, he wasn't like in game mode trying to really humiliate anybody on the court. He's just playing a little game of pickup basketball. I don't think it was anything serious. I'm just having fun. 12-year-old does have some skill. He dunked, quote unquote, on LeBron. Um, just LeBron didn't even really try to, you know, get up there, and he just. I mean, it was a nice play by the 12-year-old, but again, taking things out of context, I think LeBron's just having fun with um, some up and coming basketball players, trying to teach them some things. I think it was more of you know I don't know where that was taken from, but I'm pretty sure LeBron didn't pull up to um, this court and was like, "Okay, guys, I'm about to teach y'all a lesson. Y'all talk too much smack online. I'm gonna give y'all's business." And then the 12-year-old then dunks on. I don't think it was anything like that. I think it was, LeBron probably went down there to, you know, to be a blessing to these young up and coming basketball players, and you know, uh, played soft basketball, I guess you could say, like, just playing around, not really trying to humiliate young kids. Because, like, then, if LeBron would have dunked on a 12-year-old, then, you'd have been, you would have said, well, that was a bad look for that was a bad look for LeBron. And if the 12-year-old would have went up for the dunk, and then LeBron would have said, "Get that mess out of here," right? And you would have been like, well, LeBron, let the 12-year-old have some fun, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so either way, LeBron is going to lose in this situation. I mean, I think LeBron just let him dunk. I mean, he just. I mean, I think it was pretty clear that this is not anything to uh like get hyped up and crazy about.
Yeah, I mean, it's not major news. I mean, look, if a kid's got skills, he's got skills, but I mean, LeBron, I mean, he either that kid really does have skill, like really have skill to be dunking on LeBron, or he just let the kid have it. I don't think this should necessarily say anything bad about LeBron James. Like, oh well, he's getting dunked on like kids, and blah blah blah. Like, I don't like. Can you really say anything negative over one viral video like that?
Do you think that was a real basketball game?
No.
Do you think LeBron went to that court to try to teach these young kids a lesson and really put basketball like to ruin basketball for them and show them who's king?
I mean, I would like to think that he was just having fun. I don't think
Right.
I ruined basketball.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I
Yeah.
think I don't like you said. I don't know how long ago that was. Could have been a couple years ago. Um, could have been last week. I don't know. I would have to do more research on that. But yeah, man, I think this was just all in good fun. I mean, for all we know, he probably told him to dunk. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For all we know. I mean, LeBron could have said, "Hey, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this play. You're going to do this, and you're going to dunk." I mean, for all we know, that's it was all probably set up or something. I don't. I'm not saying it was set up. I'm just saying for all we know that could have been the play there.
True.
But anyways, I want to talk about something else. Let's move on. Let's talk about House versus NCAA settlement. This will fundamentally change college football as we know.
Really, all of college athletics, but yes, specifically, I think college football.
Well, yeah, we cover college football, but yes.
Right,
Um,
right.
so I'm gonna read this article. This article came out. This is from CBS Sports. The NCAA's 119-year amateurism model died Friday with a judge's pen as the landmark House versus NCAA antitrust settlement received a final approval, opening the door for millions of dollars to be shared between schools and players for the first time. U.S. District Judge Claudia Wilkin gave her final approval of the landmark settlement after 5 years of litigation, ending with nearly 1 year of discussion and tweaks after the NCAA and power conferences initially voted to settle on the suit in 2024. The $2.8 billion with a B 10-year settlement will pay past players for missed name, image, and likeness opportunities and allow colleges to pay current players directly starting July 1st. NCAA Charlie Baker penned a letter in response to the landmark settlement, quote, approving the agreement reached by the NCAA, the defendant conferences, and student athletes in the settlement opens a pathway to begin stabilizing college sports. He also said this new framework that enables schools to provide direct financial benefits to student athletes and establish a clear and specific rules to relegate third-party NIL agreements marks a huge step forward for college sports. And then this goes on to say schools can share as much as $20.5 million of their revenues with players during the upcoming academic year. By the way, this is the 20.5 million is all of athletics. This football, basketball, baseball, soccer, tennis, whatever, right? The settlement also includes a $2.8 billion in back payments for athletes who competed between 2016 and 2024. The new revenue sharing cap will increase by at least 4% each year during the 10-year agreement. The settlement's final approval has twice delayed in April after the judge echoed objectors' concerns over imposing roster limits on current players. One of the pillars of the settlement, schools were cutting players from roster in the spring, even though the settlement had yet to be approved, complicating discussions during settlement hearings. The judge asked attorneys to craft a plan to allow current players to be, quote, grandfathered in with new roster limits. The NCAA Power Conference and the plaintiffs in the lawsuit instead offered a compromise. Schools have the option to keep current players on their rosters and temporarily exceed new limits until their eligibility expires. So, the new roster limits were expected to lead to the cutting of nearly 5,000 athletes from teams across NCAA 43 sponsored sports. Some sports will increase roster limits compared to previous years, but many will be trimmed despite offering unlimited scholarships with those new thresholds. Football rosters will shrink to 105 players, resulting in schools cutting more than 20 players, though most schools are expected to exceed those limits by grandfathering in current athletes. By the way, this will completely get rid of what you call walk-ons, by the way.
Yep.
I'm just letting you know that the whole entire walking on is dead in college football, by the way, because of this. The House versus NCAA class action antitrust laws was filed in 2020 by Arizona State swimmer Grant House and women's college basketball player Sedona Prince, seeking an injunction against the NCAA and Power 5 conferences. It sought to lift restrictions on revenue sharing of media rights and revenues. Powerful antitrust attorneys Steve Berman and Jeff Kessler represented the plaintiff. The settlement resolved 3 antitrust suits: Carter versus NCAA, House versus NCAA, and Hubbard versus NCAA. NCAA rules have long prohibited players from cashing in on their NIL, but that changed July 1st, 2021, whenever organizations began allowing players to earn money from third parties and collectives. The House settlement will enable schools for the first time to pay players directly. How schools plan to divvy up the $20.5 million among their sports has been a point of contention with no legal framework to follow. Most schools are expected to mirror the back payment formula outlined in the $22.8 billion settlement. That means roughly 75% of the future revenue will be shared with football players, 15% to men's basketball, 5% to women's basketball, and 5% to remaining sports. So 75% will be shared with football. That is huge.
Yeah.
That's very huge. But let's continue. Some schools have opted to mirror the gross revenue each sport averages, which could lead to more than 85% salary being for football players. 85%. Which, you kind of already knew that, but I'm not going to read all of this. This is a lot to read, but yeah. So, what's your thoughts on this? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
I kind of do, but I kind of don't. Like, okay, so like, help me understand. So the future revenue, it said 75% will be shared with football players,
Well, that's just
while
that's probably what most college. I mean, they could
that's
divvy it.
is that a projection? Is that a projection for what the colleges will most likely do? It's
Yes,
not necessarily a rule.
there's not a rule. No,
Okay.
there's no legal framework um, that follows, but most schools are expected to mirror the back payment formula outlined in the $2.8 billion settlement. So the $2.8 billion settlement for the back pay for past players,
Hmm.
um, it was 75% football
Hmm.
players, 15% men's basketball, 5% women's basketball, and 5% remaining to all the other sports. But that doesn't mean that the schools have to follow that. They're just assuming that that's what most schools are expected to follow. Also,
Right.
some schools could have like up to 85% of the salary aside for football. So yeah, it's not like 100% that's the law of the land.
I gotcha.
Um,
Had
also,
to
I
plug my
will
had to plug my laptop in real quick. I apologize.
Anyway,
I will
but
I
yeah, I think
will
that's making sense.
I will read this real quick because I think this is a big part of it too. How revenue sharing will affect skyrocketing NIL deals among third parties is unknown. Still, those deals with third parties and collectives outside the revenue sharing will soon face intense scrutiny from a new enforcement entity starting July 1st. Experts believe it will help curb pay for play schemes between boosters and players among perceived market values. Many multi-million dollar deals with high profile players were struck in the months before this approval so that those deals would not be scrutinized by the enforcement entity, which does not have authority until July 1st. Um, the Power Conference are expected to soon announce the College Sports Commission, an organization tasked to oversee the settlement's terms and enforce new rules. The Power Conferences hired Deloitte and LBI, major players in revenue management for professional sports, to develop software to dissect NIL deals and track players' revenue sharing contracts. The CSC will police NIL deals over $600 with a new clearinghouse called NIL Go. Um, Deloitte will use data from past endorsement deals with athletes to review boosters' NIL deals and determine whether an agreement exceeds an athlete's fair market value. Schools' revenue sharing payouts will be monitored by an enforcement arm called CAP, sources said. So they are, so basically, these schools are going to be monitored with these NIL deals. NIL deals under scrutiny will be subject to an arbitration process, which could speed up decisions on eligibility and penalties under the new system. The NCAA, which had become toothless in NIL enforcement as it was challenged legally state to state, will be not directly involved in enforcing NIL deals. This is what Charlie Baker had to say about it. I certainly think that's something we'll have to work on a coordinated basis, but on some level, that could be a really nice way. And it has an arbitration process, and it can do fact finding. There's a lot to like about that. schools are expected to pay Deloitte as little as $5,000 or as much as $500,000 for the software, according to the document shared with the athletic departments last week. So it seems like that they are going to be monitoring very closely these NIL deals. What's your thoughts?
So it seems as if, at least my takeaway from what you just read, do we officially have like regulation for NIL? Like, are we getting to the point of like it's going to be monitored as you read to where it's not going to go all haywire like it has, you think?
I mean, that's what it reads to me.
Yeah. So, and I've been saying on my channel, and I'm not the only one to say it, but like we need someone. That's why people want like Nick Saban or somebody to step up and be a commissioner for the whole sport or for college athletics is, especially with the NIL, like it's not a bad thing. It's not bad for the players. What's bad is that there's no regulations, but with this new settlement and this court thing we've had going on for a while, um, based on what we've just read, like it seems like we're heading in a good direction with all this. I like this.
Yes, I do too. But let us know in the comments what you think about it. We'll continue to talk about this a little bit more as we find more detail about
Yeah.
this. But from what I read, there's no 100% like there's not a salary cap on NIL deals, but the way it was read to me is that they are going to monitor these NIL deals to make sure that these NIL deals aren't getting out of hand. I don't think there's a set in stone salary cap that it has been set, but um, we'll continue to follow the story and get more information as we get it. We'll give it as we get it. But yeah, man, I think it's headed in the right direction as far as this whole NIL and the structure and House versus NCAA settlement. I do like this. I think this is a huge step forward in college sports.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about some Oklahoma football stadium news. Oh, this is a good one. It's not a good one, but anyways, man claiming loyalty to ISIS scouted Oklahoma's football stadium for terrorist attack per court records. This is also from CBS Sports. Everything we're talking about today, I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. Everything we're talking about today, all articles are coming from one source, and that's the CBS Sports. Just going to go ahead and get that out of the way so I don't have to continue to say that over and over and over again. But so an Oklahoma man expressed interest in carrying out a terrorist attack at the University of Oklahoma football stadium in 2023. Court documents show Landon Kyle Swinford, who awaits sentencing on charges of I don't even think I can say that on YouTube, so we're going to say CP and communicating a threat in interstate commerce, claimed loyalty to ISIS, and identified the Oklahoma Stadium as a potential target. Sentencing a memo submitted in the Western District of Oklahoma lays out how Swinford communicated with an undercover officer about his desire to carry out these acts while attending Sooners football game with his grandparents in September 2023. Swinford texted the undercover officer that the stadium barricades and security situation made it vulnerable to attack. Swinford and the undercover officer then scouted the stadium the following month. According to the memo, Swinford repeatedly expressed a desire to go overseas to join ISIS, but his, quote, backup plan was an attack in the United States. But when asked by the FBI in last year whether he would have carried out an attack if he possessed the financial means, he replied, quote, sadly, yes. Oklahoma Stadium was not the only target. He frequently texted the undercover officer about a possible attack in New Orleans and presented an idea to blow up the Voodoo Spiritual Temple during Mardi Gras. Swinford was indicted in 2024 and reached a plea deal to possession of very bad things, CP, and communicating a threat in interstate commerce. Yeah, very bad guy. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Put him under the jail. That's my thoughts. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, this is I mean, what a I don't even know if I could say what I want to say, dude. Like, I mean, sounds like he's a piece of crap, honestly. That's a nice way to put it, and that's still an understatement. But he, I mean, why are you going to a football game? Like, especially like with college kids, man. Like, why? I mean,
He was scouting out the stadium to see if it was easy to attack.
yeah.
Just
I mean, they
a
can't
terrible
get
guy.
away with it. Well, I mean, here's the thing when it comes to this now. You know, you want to attack America, right? And, they're up in the security and all the Trump rallies and stuff like that. I'm going to be careful with this because I don't want to get off into a political tangent. But has it stooped so low in this country that we're going to sporting events over this? I mean, I don't want to see it anywhere, but like, I mean, come on, man. I mean,
Yep, just a terrible situation all around.
yeah,
This type of um, this type of behavior has no place anywhere in the world. I don't care if it's America or any other country in this world. Um, this type of activity and behavior has no part in the world, and we need to come together as a world and recognize that, not just as Americans, but in the whole world. We need to change and understand that there's no place for behavior like this.
right.
It's just an evil crime that, if the plan were to have been followed through, could have seriously killed or injured or thousands of people. You know what I mean? And it's just a sad thing to really talk about, and it's a sad thing to really think about that there are people like this in the world.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, it's heartbreaking, man. It really is. I mean, I'm not surprised because this world is corrupt, like as it is. Like it's broken. There's sin. We need Jesus. We all do, but um, some sometimes it's just like, man, what are we doing? Like, have we gone that far with it? Like, we need some self control, right?
You there? Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. I had a little bit of technical difficulties there, but uh,
Okay.
uh, I heard what you said. But let's move on from the sadness. Let's talk about
Yeah.
college football's most impactful transfers in the college football portal era. Let's talk about it. Let's do it.
For
Um,
sure.
this is, and I know I already said I'm not going to do this, but this article from CBS Sports. Not going to say it again, promise. But let's go all the way to number 10. We're just going to say agree or disagree. Um, coming in at number 10, Olu Oluwatami from Michigan. Oluwatami. He was anchored in Michigan's offensive line after transferring from Virginia and previously Air Force, bringing experience to leadership in the interior. He won both the Remington and Outland trophies, becoming the first center in program history to do so, while helping the Wolverines reach the CFP. And with another Big Ten title, his presence in the middle helped Michigan win a second consecutive Joe Moore Award. Thoughts?
Yeah, I don't not too familiar with the name, but I will say that Michigan has had strong offensive linemen that they've been able to put in the NFL, and he, I guess he's going to be one of the next big guys, and he's been in a couple good schools in Virginia and Air Force, and again, it says he brought experience and leadership. Um, and I feel like guys go, and we can make fun of Michigan all we want to about the side stealing and cheating and all that, but I really believe, I would like to believe that that stuff aside, it is a program that you want to go to if you want to beef up in the weight room. I think they got good strength and conditioning.
Yeah, for sure. Coming in at number 9, this is a guy you definitely know. Florida
Oh
State,
yeah,
Jared Verse. So I do agree with this. I'm not going to read this. I'm going to give you my thoughts, though. Yes, I mean he was at the FCS level at Albany. But yes, he definitely made huge impact at Florida State, being one of the best defensive guys. He totaled 18 sacks, 30 tackles for loss. He definitely elevated Florida State's defense. This guy was it on a stick. I'm telling you, like this guy was the real deal, and he's in the NFL today. Jared Verse was the best part of Florida State, even though I do not like Florida State. I know, my hatred for Florida State started a couple years ago. I'm still on the Florida State hate train. Um, yeah, Jared Verse was a big part of Florida State's success a few years ago, and Florida State's definitely seeing the effects of losing Jared Verse. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, Jared Verse is a stud, dude, and Florida State's got some good talent. I know they took a really big drop last year, but Jared Verse, a couple years ago and everything has been one of those guys. I didn't even realize. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't realize he was a transfer. But it obviously worked out. Top guy. For Florida State's defense and part of their great success in 2023. It's yeah, he's something special.
Yes. Let's move on to number 8, Jameson Williams. Now you're the Alabama guy. You wanna go ahead and talk about Jameson Williams and how
Now,
if he was still, apparently he must have been really good, because if he never was injured, then Georgia wouldn't have a national championship or
I'm
whatever.
not the one that said that. I'm not
Eh,
the
So
one that
so
said
so he must have been a really good one to
yes, he was
you know
really good, but I think Georgia was on a mission that year to win in 2021, no matter who they played, no matter what injuries came in that game for Alabama. But he was good. Uh, excuse me. Great speed, great awareness, good hands, good ball skills, and he's doing great with the Lions right now. But yes, he comes over from Ohio State. It helps Bryce Young out along with John Mechie at wide receiver in 2021. So a really good, impactful transfer there for Alabama. And yeah, he did it all, man. It seemed like that year, and I credit him for making the decision that he did. And you only imagine if he had stayed and found some time at Ohio State, what it would have done for that.
Yeah. I mean, Ohio State already had a very crowded wide receiver room. I mean, they always have a crowded wide receiver room. Ohio State is wide receiver university. So, um, yeah, man, it seems like, especially under Saban only needed a quarterback and a wide receiver, and he's going to win the national championship. He needed a receiver, a quarterback, and a really good defense, and he's gonna win all the games that he can. And Jameson Williams was a big part of Alabama's success for sure. He was he led the Crimson Tide with 1,572 receiving yards and 15 touchdowns, and also he added 2 more scores on kick returns. So, um, like I said before, and CBS Sports put this on here, there's a strong case that the Tide might have repeated as national champs had he not torn his ACL in the second quarter of the title game. But you know what they say, right, Ballard? If ands, and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. So, um, that's what they say. That's what I say. Georgia was your national championship winners that year, and you got to deal with it. So, we had injuries as well. We had probably more injuries than Alabama did that year. But anyways, let's move on to number 7, Jaden Daniels, LSU. Now, this guy definitely made a huge impact for LSU. Coming from Arizona State. I got a question, Ballard. Did you ever see Jaden Daniels that viral video where I guess Arizona State football team had found out he was transferring to LSU, and he was in the locker. He was in the locker room, and they're like, "Oh, you suck, Jaden Daniels," and he was in the locker room, and all his teammates were like, "You suck, you suck. That's why you're transferring. You suck, you suck." Did you see that video?
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah. So Arizona State, huh?
At Arizona State, they mocked him basically.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find that video. I'll send it to you. We can react to it. Hold on, real quick. Uh, talk about while I pull this up. Talk about Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, he transfers from Arizona State to LSU, wins a Heisman, goes to the Commanders, number 2 overall a couple years ago, and he's balling out in the NFL right now. I think he's doing really great. So, but I like his mobility, um, situational awareness, uh, you know, good pocket presence and everything. So yeah, I think he's good. I think he did good, and I think that as long as they can keep him healthy in Washington, he's going to continue to be good.
Did you get it?
Let me see. Yep.
Let's share the screen and react to it.
Look, anyways. Look, anyways.
Dang. That's insane, man. Who
Yeah.
does that? Like, you
Share,
got to
share,
encourage
share,
and support your teammates.
share screen and show the people.
Okay. You want to say? I was playing it on my phone, so.
Yeah. So as he pulls that up, yeah, Jaden Daniels definitely made a huge impact.
Out. He out of this. Suck anyways. Out. He out of this. Suck anyways.
See, I mean, what's your initial thoughts on that?
I wouldn't want to be teammates with someone that said that.
Yeah, they were saying, "Yeah, get out of here. You suck anyways." I mean, really bad teammates. That was everybody found out that he was going to transfer to LSU, and then he made a huge impact immediately, winning the Heisman, taking LSU to the SEC championship. Brian Kelly beating Alabama, Nick Saban, Alabama, by the way, year one, I believe it was. Was it year one? I believe it was.
Yeah.
Whenever he was at LSU, and a lot of hype around Brian Kelly, and then, so he definitely made big impact there, making the SEC championship as well. Just very, very extremely talented, like you had said before. He's with the Washington Commanders. Probably rookie of the year contender. I don't know if he did win rookie of the year or not, but in my eyes, he was definitely one of the best rookies this past season. leading the Commanders to a good playoff run, making it to the conference championship, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
versus the Eagles. If had they beat the Eagles, they would have been in the Super Bowl with Jaden Daniels. So definitely made some big impacts with him transferring from Arizona State. Arizona State was hot doo doo garbage. LSU gave Jaden Daniels a chance, and Jaden Daniels made the best of it, and also came out with winning a Heisman. So that goes to show just how impactful he was um, with LSU. Let's go to Travis Hunter, number 6. Lead us off with this.
He can play both sides of the field, and there's a reason that the Jaguars wanted to trade up and get him, and he was a top 5 pick, and he obviously followed Dion and Shador and company from Jackson State. Um, so I think he's a big time impactful transfer for many different reasons, but just his speed, his agility, and honestly, I think he's got good character.
Yeah, I do. I believe everything you just said. Colorado, Deion Sanders, that whole entire drama around Colorado and Deion Sanders gets a lot of hate. But honestly, the one thing I know people hate on him anyways, but the one thing you really can't hate on is that boy, Travis Hunter. I mean, without Travis Hunter, do they have the success they had this past year? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Coming in at number 5, Caleb Williams. Um, yeah, he had a lot of success. He followed Lincoln Riley to Southern Cal after being at Oklahoma. Um, and he won what was it, 10 games the first year, and I think had a down year of going like 8-4, 7-5 the next year. But yeah, he played for a conference title, and well, no, yeah, he did. Did he play for? I don't know. I can't remember.
I have
No,
no idea.
I believe he played for a conference title one year because I think they lost to Utah in the conference title championship in the Pac-12, but never did play for the college football playoffs or anything like that. But um, he definitely made an impact at Southern Cal. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Caleb Williams made more of an impact at uh, Oklahoma.
Mhm.
I know he did win the Heisman at Southern Cal, but I do believe Caleb Williams' impact was better fitted for Oklahoma rather than Southern Cal. I think Lincoln Riley. This is a hot take. Well, I don't think it's a hot take. I think a lot of people will agree with me, but I think Lincoln Riley probably should have never went to Southern Cal.
Yeah.
I think had Lincoln Riley stayed at Oklahoma being in the SEC and all that stuff, I think Lincoln Riley would have definitely been more successful than he is currently right now. I do believe that he had something really special going at Oklahoma. With the success that he had, making several college football playoff appearances, having some amazing games that had me on the edge of my seat. Georgia Oklahoma game from a few years ago with you know uh, Baker Mayfield, right?
Yeah.
but just some amazing classics that he was able to put on at Oklahoma, doing some awesome things. I think he would have. I mean, we'll see what Lincoln Riley does this year, but man, I really think Lincoln Riley's uh, definitely gone down as a head coach. When a couple years ago, if you would have said, "Hey, list your top 10 college football head coaches," he would have been in everybody's top 10. You list top
Yeah.
10 head coaches right now, Lincoln Riley's probably not even in your top 15.
Hey.
So I
Yeah.
just I think his stock has gone down a lot. Caleb Williams was a great asset to Southern Cal. Um, Great ball player. I just think that Caleb Williams at number 5 on this list is a little bit high. I would have had like him probably at like number 9 on this list, probably, but that's just my thoughts. He did uh, have some really good numbers: 8,170 yards passing, 72 touchdowns, and only 10 interceptions, along with 21 rushing touchdowns. Um, he was able to raise the ceiling for that offense, but I think I don't think he really changed Southern Cal's program around or anything like that. I think he would have been better served as if he would have stayed at Oklahoma. If Lincoln Riley would have stayed at Oklahoma, I think the success probably would have been greater. That's just my opinion. But give me,
Yeah.
well, you can give me your thoughts if you disagree or whatever.
No, I mean, I kind of agree. I mean, I think that Lincoln Riley had it going at Oklahoma, and then he left and he went to Southern Cal, which is a big job and a great job to have. But it was probably too big for Riley, and he brought his quarterback like Caleb Williams with him, and he's been good with transfer quarterbacks and everything. But I don't know, man. Something about him and USC and the Big Ten now, and the West Coast. It doesn't seem to all fit together.
Yeah, so let's go to number 4, Caleb Downs. And I'm going to just say yes. He should probably be, I don't know who's going to be at number 1, but this guy should definitely be like a little bit higher than number 4, in my opinion. But
Yeah,
yes. This guy was definitely one of the reasons why Ohio State won a national championship. He, uh, this guy is a stud. Caleb Downs was 100% in Athens, ready to be a Georgia Bulldog. And then there was a lot of rumors that said that he was already in. He already had a dorm room at the University of Georgia. There's a lot of rumors that said that he already had a roommate and everything. He had already put his bags in the room. And the rumor is right before midnight, like 11 p.m. or something like that, the rumor was Ohio State made an offer that he couldn't turn down. They put him on a flight, and he was off to Ohio State. So, yes, as you know, I'm not going to sit here and pee down your leg and tell you it's raining. Yes, I wanted Caleb Downs at Georgia. Yes, I did. That's how impactful he was at Alabama, and then now transferring to Ohio State, leading them to a national championship. He is 100% one of the most impactful players in the portal era, and
yeah,
he led Alabama in tackles just as a freshman. He transferred to Ohio State, and he he helped Ohio State become one of the best defenses in the country and also helped them win a national championship. So, yes, 100% Caleb Downs at number 4. You could put him at number 2, number 1. I don't know who else is going to be on this list, but yes, 100% Caleb Downs.
For sure.
Coming in at number 3, you got Kenneth Walker III, Michigan State, and I 100% agree with this. I would have put Caleb Downs a little bit ahead of Kenneth Walker, but I do understand why they put Kenneth Walker at 3 because Michigan State, whenever he got to Michigan State, became a contender for the Big Ten, won several games. 11 wins and a New Year's Six bowl. And their only winning season under Mel Tucker, which I believe got him that really huge extension from Michigan State. And then, obviously, Tucker was fired for cause. We're not going to talk about that. But, yeah, he definitely was a big player at Michigan State. He was formerly at Wake Forest. But this guy, was an All-American, won the Doak Award. He rushed for 1,636 yards, 18 touchdowns, and averaging 6.2 yards per carry. This guy literally carried Michigan State on his back and ran to an 11-win season. This is 100% deserve to be on this list. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, it's a good list so far, and yeah.
So coming in at number 2, Justin Fields. I would love to have seen him play at Georgia and be the starting quarterback. So I do agree with this as well. Justin Fields. I would love to have him at my Steelers right now. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is, Ballard, with my favorite teams getting rid of Justin Fields. Georgia got rid of Justin Fields,
Yeah.
and the Steelers got rid of Justin Fields. What in the world is my favorite teams doing? I don't know. I'm a huge Justin Fields fan. He's at the Jets right now, and I think he is an awesome quarterback. I think he just needs the right set of people around him to be successful. Obviously, you got to have, great offensive line. You got to have some key receivers, and you got to have somebody to throw the football to. You can't do everything by yourself, but I do think, with a little bit of help around him, he is an amazing quarterback. We saw what he did at Ohio State, leading them to he went 20-2 as a starter with both losses coming from Clemson in 2019 in the playoffs and Bama in 2020 in the playoffs. Reached the national championship, and like this dude, he completed almost 70% of his passes for 5,373 yards, 63 touchdowns, and just only 9 interceptions. This guy also rushed for 867 yards and 15 scores. This guy is also the last Buckeyes quarterback to defeat Michigan. Can you believe that mess? Like, this is just a game changer for Ohio State. Ohio State probably wishes they still had him. Like, this is, and Georgia should have kept him. But yes, this is the biggest what if at Georgia. Imagine we would have kept Fields. Will we have 3 national championships? Will we have even 4? I don't know. But what I do know is Justin Fields is the man. What's your thoughts? Hello? We can't hear you, Ballard.
Yeah, I'm here. Did
I
it
said,
cut
what,
out?
I said, what was your thoughts on Justin Fields?
I thought he was great, and I think Georgia let him go. I thought that when he got recruited, he should have. How do I put this? He should have started over Jake Fromm. And I feel like that was your chance at a national title before Stetson Bennett. And I feel like Georgia fans out there have, as they should, let it go. But Justin Fields was a great transfer for Ohio State, led them to the playoffs 2 years in a row, one of them to a national title in the COVID year. And I believe he was a Heisman finalist twice. Am I mistaken on that?
I wouldn't be able to remember, but he should have been.
Yeah. But he was
Let's talk.
great, and I think that, you know, the right NFL team needs to go get him and make him their franchise guy.
Yeah, let's talk about this last one, Michael Penix Jr. Go ahead and talk to me about him, and then we'll end this segment.
Where did he start? Indiana, left-handed, but goes to Washington, and the year Michigan cheated, leads Washington to a national championship with Kalen DeBoer as head coach. I think he's a great talent. I think he's got a great future in football. I think he's very mobile. He's got strong athleticism. He's got good arm strength too. So he just does a lot well. Um, and that's something I admire in a quarterback when you can do a lot of good things to help the team and put the team first. And it always seems like he's been that. He's never really had any trouble. He's never had any complaints, at least from what we've seen in the media. So that's pretty good.
All right, so we're going to do this. This is the next thing we're going to do. We are going to go to buy or sell. We're going to run through this pretty fast because I do want to get to the last segment. I don't want to skip this last segment, so I want to go through this really fast. I know it's getting late, so I want to kind of do two articles at once. I'm gonna name some quarterbacks. You're gonna say buy or sell, and so let's do this little game right here. So are you gonna buy or sell this quarterback in 2025? And you can give me a quick reason why. Drew Aller, buy or sell? 2025.
I'm gonna buy Drew Aller
Give me a
because he, even though he may or may not be a product of what's around him talent wise with Nick Singleton and company, I can see the athleticism and the good style of play that he brings to the table. And a lot of NFL scouts need to keep him on the radar for the 2026 draft.
Yes, everything you said, I 100% agree with. I am buying him as well. Carson Beck, Miami, buy or sell?
So
Ooh, that's surprising. Why is that?
I mean, I like the transfer, and I'm not saying he can't do well, but I don't think he's going to be what he was at Georgia. I just don't. I know he had his injury late, but he was really good, other than some interceptions. And I don't know. I just get a gut feeling it's not going to work out with Mario Cristobal.
I am going to buy Carson Beck because I just don't want to be that guy, that Georgia fan that hates on every single guy that transfers out of Georgia and just starts crapping on them. I'm going to buy him at at Miami. You know, assuming that he is 100% at Miami, but if he's not going to be 100%, just as you said, I don't think he'll be good as he was at Georgia if he doesn't recover fully from the injury. But if he does fully recover, I think he'll be just fine. I think he can lead Miami to wherever they want to go this season, playoffs and stuff like that. But Garrett Nussmeier, buy or sell?
I could buy that. I could buy Garrett Nussmeier. I think he's got the good physical tools. I will say this, I don't think he's a Joe Burrow type or a Jaden Daniels. I don't think he's Heisman material, but I think he's good enough to where you could see LSU have one of the more productive SEC offenses.
So I am going to disagree with you. I do think he is Heisman contender. He is well. I think a wide receiver is probably going to win the Heisman this year.
Okay.
But if a quarterback does win a Heisman this year, hot take, I think it's Garrett Nussmeier. He is definitely going to be the best quarterback in the country this coming season. The reason why I was so high on LSU this past season, whenever I said that they were going to go 11-1, is because of the man with the plan, the quarterback of LSU, Garrett Nussmeier, the Gus Bus. I thought the Gus Bus should have started over the likes of Jaden Daniels that we had just talked about how great he was coming from Arizona State. I said that Garrett Nussmeier is a better quarterback overall than him. We've seen Jaden Daniels win the Heisman. Garrett Nussmeier, in my opinion, as a quarterback, overall quarterbacking, throwing the football, and I think as a runner, I think Jaden Daniels is a little bit better, or a lot a bit better. But as far as just a pure passer of the football, Garrett Nussmeier is a little bit better in my opinion. Yeah, he did have 12 interceptions, but which was the most in the SEC. But I think he's going to, get that number down a little bit. I am definitely buying him, but I would never say LSU's going 11-1 again because I, 2 years in a row, have gotten I've gotten burned on my LSU hot takes. So Garrett Nussmeier, I am going to buy him for sure. He'll be probably the first quarterback taken in next year's draft. That's just my opinion. Jackson Arnold, buy or sell?
Oh, where did he go? Auburn?
Yep.
I really don't know. Like, off the top of my head, I really want to buy because I do think he had his good moments at Oklahoma, but I also think he had his bad moments. I'm only going to buy because I do think Auburn has to take a step forward at the quarterback position, whether it's really good or just mediocre. I'm only going to buy because I think anything is a step up from Peyton Thorne last year.
Okay. So I am going to buy Jackson Arnold, but let's just pretend that this was stocks. I'm not going to invest. I'm not going to put a whole lot of money investing in Jackson Arnold, but I am going to buy, right?
Right.
I wouldn't put my whole entire mortgage up or anything like that. I wouldn't put my house up saying that Jackson Arnold is going to be the next best thing this year. I'm not going to say that, but I look at the Alabama versus Oklahoma game this past season, and I'm not saying this to troll you or anything like this. I'm saying this because I want you to understand where I'm coming from. The way that Jackson Arnold, the style that Jackson Arnold did in that game, if you just look at that game and seen the way that they utilized Jackson Arnold, I think Auburn, if you go back and look at Auburn with Peyton Thorne and company, and you go back even like the last couple of years with Peyton Thorne and the other quarterback, Robbie Ashford, right?
Yeah.
If you go back to a lot of games that Auburn had played, they ran a similar style of football like Oklahoma did in that Oklahoma versus Alabama game. And if that is the route that Auburn's going this season, I think he will be a better fit in Auburn's offense, and I think he'll be able to run it a lot better and a lot more smoother. I think Auburn also has more talent than Oklahoma as far as wide receivers. I do believe Auburn probably has the best wide receivers in the SEC. I mean, you can debate me if I'm wrong, but dude, he should, with the talent that's around him, he should be able to have an upgrade in talent and an upgrade in his abilities. So for that reason, I am going to buy him. Aiden Childs, buy or sell?
Is that the Michigan State guy?
Yes.
He transferred, right? Like he came in from somewhere, or did he not? Was he recruited?
Yeah, I think he was recruited for sure. This is second year, sophomore season. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. I think I want to buy the quarterback, but I'm not buying the team. If that makes any sense, I think he'll be good, but I don't think the team as a whole is going to be good enough to where you look at the offense or Michigan State and say, as a whole, they're something special because I don't think they're going to be that. But I do like Aiden Childs.
yeah, I am going to sell
Okay.
Aiden Childs just because turnovers plays a big role in my decision to sell him. Also, the talent around him not going to be very good, in my opinion. He does have wide receiver Nick Marsh, but and he has a pretty good offense coordinator with Brian Lindgren. But I just don't see Aiden Childs elevating Michigan State to even the next level that they want to get to. So for that reason, I am going to sell him. Miller Moss at Louisville.
Ooh,
Buy or sell?
Miller Moss from USC.
Yes, but he is now at Louisville.
I'll buy it.
I agree with you. I am going to buy it. I think this is the perfect place that Miller Moss can be. Miller Moss, Louisville. I mean, Miller Moss, even at like a Kentucky or NC State or something like that, like one of these teams, I think like Miller Moss is 100% great for. But didn't do exactly what the Trojans expected him to do this past season, but he definitely could do a lot better. I think he will be infinitely better at Louisville. I think Louisville is a dark horse for a playoff run this season. They're definitely a dark horse contender for the ACC for sure.
Yep.
Hunter Wegman, buy or sell?
Connor Wakeman.
He's at Houston.
He's at Houston now. Was at Texas A&M, 5-star recruit. Really talented. Uh, I don't know. My gut says to sell,
Uh,
but at
I'm-
the same time, I don't think that's right. Like I mean, he's very talented, and Houston being in the Big 12, um, in an offensive league where they can constantly have good O line and receivers, I'm gonna have to buy Connor Wakeman.
yeah, Connor Wegman to me, I haven't really, he's been injury prone and he's at Houston now. That's not as talented as Texas A&M. Connor Wegman doesn't have legs to be running around, uh, doing, helping the team win. I am going to sell Connor Wegman to
Okay.
me. Whenever Connor Wegman gets pressure, to me, he makes a lot of mistakes with his injuries and all that stuff, and him just being at Houston where the talent gap is not not the same. I am going to sell him. I think he's going to be the biggest what if. Um, what if Connor Wegman would have never got these injuries? What if he would have stayed at Texas A&M? I think he'll be one of the biggest what ifs in college football. I mean, not the biggest, but one of the biggest what ifs in college football. Connor Wegman. I'm gonna go ahead and sell him. And
Okay.
since you're buying them, I'll sell them to you. Get my money. So, anyways, Jalen Daniels, Kansas, buy or sell?
Buy.
Yes, I agree with you. Go
I
ahead.
think, and I'm not saying because of the name, although they are similar. Is it me or does Jalen and Jaden Daniels kind of go together with like just how they play? I mean, they seem built the same. They're not brothers, are they? Like
No.
they're not like twin brothers that we don't know about or something.
Mm-mm.
But they're both very mobile and athletic. They have good arm strength, good pocket awareness. I'm gonna have to buy the Kansas quarterback here.
I am too. I think without
Yeah,
Jalen Daniels, Kansas is
Kansas
trash.
sucks without him. Yeah, they
Yes,
just
and we seen
yeah,
that this past year.
yeah.
Wasn't Kansas on the verge of winning eight or how many games did they win this past season? I can't remember, but I know once he got injured this past year, they lost like a handful of games. Um, I know they made a bowl game last year, but like, dude, imagine if he would have never got injured. If they would have won a little bit more games. Avery Johnson, Kansas State, buy or sell?
Avery Johnson, Kansas State. Uh, ooh,
I'm gonna sell. I
yeah.
just don't. I
He's
mean,
not
Kansas.
bad. He's not bad, but I will say he's not worth holding on to.
I mean, if you take a look at previous Kansas State quarterbacks, like you know, Howard, what's his name? Will Howard,
Will Howard, yeah.
that transferred from to Ohio State and won that national championship. But take like if he was that good, I would probably say like buy. But like I think Kansas State definitely took a big loss in quarterback roles. I think he throws some good interceptions, and I just don't see Kansas State near the Big 12 title this year, and I don't see them in any college football playoff race or anything like that this year. So, anyways, last one, Kyron Drones. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I'm definitely selling this. He was a former Baylor quarterback, transferred. I I just I seen some games last year from Kyron Jones at Virginia Tech. He just really didn't impress me a whole lot. I think he's a little slow there. Um, and I know he like had some injuries and stuff like that, but like I don't know, man. I think just a little slow. Uh, a lot of hype, but not a lot of results from the hype. I just don't. Maybe I'm crazy, but I'm gonna go ahead and sell that one.
Okay. Yeah, I probably would too. Not too impressed with him. I mean, he's not bad, but like, it just doesn't there's nothing that really sticks out about him.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna switch.
I thought of it'll come back to me. Hold on, who is it? Who is it? I wanted to throw a bonus quarterback in there. Um yeah, I got nothing. I thought I had one. Uh if it does come back to me, we'll talk about it, I guess. But
All right. Well,
that's
yeah, for sure.
should be all I got.
We're going to switch to college football teams. This is a buy or sell on the most hyped college football teams. So let's start out Texas Tech, buy or sell.
Mm. Now, is this for like,
This
are
year.
they gonna? Well, I know, but like, this is like playoff, or is this like just in general, or?
This is like, all right. So when we say buy or sell for all these teams, I'm thinking like Big 12,
Hype?
like all right. So are they a dark horse for the Big 12? Are they a dark horse for college football playoffs? Are they a dark horse for anything? If you see them going 6-6, then obviously it's a sell. But if you see them going like 9-3, 10-2, 11-1, then I would say buy. I think anything 8-4 or below probably a sell.
Okay. And this first team was who?
Texas Tech.
Didn't have a good season, but I have to sell because they might end up winning only 7 or 8 games.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell as well. Texas Tech has been one of them, teams kind of like
They're
NC
just
State.
average.
They're like one of them teams like NC State that gets a whole lot of hype. Like, oh, we're gonna make the playoffs, or we're gonna make the conference championship, and what do? They just tend to, like you said, win 7 or 8 games. I'm gonna sell this as well. I mean, they
Yeah.
do have the number 2 transfer class in the country, but they got edge rusher David Bailey, but I mean, I don't think that's going to help them as much. I mean, it probably help them to get to 8 wins, but instead of 7. But like, I just don't see them winning more than that, and for that reason, like, there's going to be a lot of I can name probably 5 or 6 better teams than Texas Tech in the Big 12 alone. So for that reason, I got to sell. Oklahoma, buy or sell.
This one, oh, I'm gonna catch some heat, but I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna buy Oklahoma.
Guess what?
You too?
Yes,
Yeah, let's go. Michael Hawkins
I
at quarterback here.
I'm huh?
Michael Hawkins at quarterback, right? Jackson Arnold's
No,
out of the picture.
no,
No, who is it? John Mateer?
yes.
Yeah. Well, either
They
way, I think that'd be good. What's up, Nate? Good to see you in the comments. Um, Yeah. Okay.
You know who they got at running back?
Um.
Jaden Ott.
Jaden Ott from.
Hot take: Jaden Ott will be the best running back in the country this year.
He was with the Golden Bears. He was with Cal.
Yes, now he's at Oklahoma.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna say this: I'm buying 100%. I'm gonna make a really, really hot take, Ballard. I'm gonna make a really hot take, Ballard. Ballard, you don't understand how much of a hot take this might be. Oklahoma is going to be my dark horse team. Okay,
For what?
the playoffs.
Shit. I wouldn't buy him that much. You think so?
They got Illinois State. That's a win. Temple. That's a win. Kent State.
They
That's a
play
win.
They do play Michigan. That's 50-50 maybe.
I think they're going to beat South Carolina this year. I think they beat Missouri this year. I
Okay.
think they beat Tennessee this year. I do believe they beat Texas this year. Hot take.
No,
I
come on.
do believe they beat Auburn this year. Hot take. Hot take. Oklahoma wins 9 games this year.
Are their losses? Are they beating Alabama and T-Town?
I'll give Bama the win
Okay.
just because it's like you said, it's at Alabama. But
It is a revenge game. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did. This Oklahoma team is going to be so much better, and it's not even close. They do lose one of their best wide receivers to LSU, but
Oh,
like,
Aaron Anderson or something?
yes,
Or Nick Anderson. Is it
yes,
Nick or
Nick Anderson, Nick Anderson, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do lose their best wide receiver to LSU, but I am 100% buying Oklahoma. They're going to have one of the better. They're going to have a better quarterback situation than they had this past season. They're going to have the best running back in all of the country. They're going to have a really good offensive line, like they did. I mean, they didn't have a terrible offensive line. They had a pretty good offensive line this past season. I think their defense is going to be amazing, like it was this past season. Just man, if to me, Oklahoma is poised to be right in that conversation. I'm not going to say that they're going to college football playoff or anything like that, but don't be surprised at the end of the year whenever they're 9-3 and the Oklahoma fans are crying that they deserve to be in the college football playoffs and over some 10-2 team or whatever, like South Carolina and other teams, in Alabama, like they were this past season. I think Oklahoma could possibly be one of those teams at the end of the year where the fans are crying that, oh, well, Tulsa got into the playoffs and Oklahoma didn't. We would have beaten them by 100 points. If ands or buts, candy and nuts, and all that stuff. I think Oklahoma will be really good and right in that conversation at the end of the year, just like Ole Miss, South Carolina, and Alabama was this past season. I think they're going to be right in that conversation. So Oklahoma, I'm definitely selling. Buying. Sorry. Clemson, buy or sell? I'm gonna go ahead and be honest with you. They got some great ones. I am definitely buying. 100%. Peter Woods, T.J. Parker, Antonio Williams, T.J. Moore. They got one of the best quarterbacks coming into the season. Cade Klubnik. Yeah, I mean, come on, bro. Like, he's like Heisman contender as well. Like, yeah, I'm definitely buying Clemson. What you think?
I'm going to buy Clemson too. And I had talked about this on the Christian Ballard show last week or week before, and I clipped it. Is it crazy to think that they could win a title and get Dabo's third ring this year? Is that crazy to think that they could go that far? Because I think they can.
Uh, they can. I mean, anything's possible in college football. Uh,
Right.
they can,
I am
but
more than
I'm
buying
not.
Clemson.
I'm not gonna buy. If you're asking me, like, are you gonna buy them as a national championship contender? No, I'm not buying them. But if you're telling me like they'll make the playoffs and win a playoff game, okay, I'm buying that. But
Yeah.
I think they're definitely winning the ACC championship this year. I don't really. Maybe the only chances of them not winning the ACC is like if a Miami or a Louisville come in there and win. Or I know this is going to sound crazy, even if a Georgia Tech slips in and wins the ACC. But like them are dark horses. But like they are the odds-on favorite to win the ACC once again. And yeah, I'm buying Clemson. But let's also talk about the next team. I didn't expect so many teams. We're not going to do all these teams, but we'll do some
Let's
of
do
them.
one more and we'll move on. How about that?
Well,
Or how many good ones are there?
1, 2, 3. There's 4 more left.
Okay.
So we'll do them. Florida, buy or sell. I'm selling.
It depends. Am I Josh Pate?
Juice poot. I'm selling. A lot of
I'm
hype.
selling them.
Yeah, a lot of hype. I don't believe it until I see it. Miami.
Haven't you heard they're a blue blood? I'm just
Miami.
kidding. Miami. Um, I'm gonna sell Miami. I can't. I'm not again. Selling these teams is not saying they're going to be terrible or bad. Selling them is like, are you buying into the hype? Like, are they going to be as good as others portray them to be? Right. So
Right.
I think Miami's a sell.
I'm gonna buy them. I'm gonna buy Miami. I think
Really?
with a fully healthy Carson Beck, I think they can get where they want to get to. Now, I do believe if Carson Beck's like 50% or 60% and coming into the season, then yeah, you're gonna probably have to sell him. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and buy Miami. Let's roll Texas.
Texas, I'll buy big time.
Yes, I'm gonna buy them as well. They're gonna probably make the
I
playoffs.
I would not be shocked if they're in the championship this year, let alone win.
Yeah, I think I'm a hot take.
I mean,
Here's a
that
really
week you talk about that week 1 game with them in Ohio State. If Ohio State gets it all right, I mean, are we looking at ending the season the way it's going to start this year too?
I'm gonna be honest
I
with you.
mean,
I think the national championship game this year is gonna be Texas versus Oregon.
Texas, Oregon. I got Texas in there. You know what? I'm gonna say Texas, Penn State.
Oh goodness, that's a hot take.
That is a
Yeah.
hot take. That's what we do on this.
Well,
You know.
speaking of Penn State, buy or sell.
Oh, I'll buy him. Yeah, let's go. Drew
All right.
Allers, Singleton comes back. You guys, the guys on defense. I think who's that one? Deny Dennis Sutton. I mean, come on. And they got that. They got some good receivers. They got. I mean, Tyler Warren's gone. I think he went to like the Colts or something. But I think they bring back like Julian Fleming, who's an Ohio State transfer. So
And then they
anyway,
also
look.
add
Hey, go ahead.
Kyron Hudson as well.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know, so Uh, and the last one that we're going to talk about, Auburn by ourselves.
Define Auburn. I mean, I like them to make a bowl game, but I'm not buying them for anything contention wise. So I guess in a way I'm selling, but if you're talking about making a bowl game, I'm buying. But overall, I'd sell them because I'm not confident in it.
For sure.
What do you think?
I'm gonna
It's hard, isn't it?
I I'm gonna probably sound like a dummy here, but so I think Oklahoma is my hot take this year that I'm sending them to like 9 wins. So I think like the teams that I think that are gonna have really, really good years, I'm gonna say it like this. So the 3 teams last year from the SEC that could have easily gotten into the playoffs, Alabama, Ole Miss, South Carolina. I think my 3 teams that are like that will probably end up being like Ole Miss once again. I'll say Oklahoma, and then I'll say Auburn, right?
Yeah.
So for that reason, I am going to buy them. They have the best wide receiver group. Jackson Arnold is a heavy upgrade. They've got the offensive line to do the job. They've got a really good defense. Auburn's always had a pretty good defense, always. I think that they're going to take definitely steps forward. Now the question is, because this is also make or break for their head coach. If
Yeah.
they go 7-5, he's fired. So
You think so?
I
Even if they won a bowl?
yes, if they go 7-5
Oh.
regular season, he's fired. I
Hmm.
think this is make or break. I think they have to go 8-4, 9-3. I think they will. I am on. I'm just going to say that they'll probably go 9-3, 10-2. That's probably where I have them pegged. So for that reason, I am going to buy them. And they'll be right in contention for the either the SEC championship or for the college football playoffs, either or. But yeah, man.
All right.
Now the last the last segment we're going to do is we already did by ourselves. We're going to do you are the father, you are not the father. Okay?
Okay.
And we're not going to say reasons why. We're just going to say you are the father, you are not the father. There's only one father per conference. So most of these all of them are going to be not the father. One of them will be the father. Let's start with the SEC. Now we're going to give reasons. If you say you are the father, you got to give a reason. But just to say you are not the father, you don't have to really give a reason for that. We're just going to say, okay.
Okay.
Vanderbilt Commodores.
You are not the father?
You are not the father.
Yeah.
Texas Longhorns. You are not the father.
Yeah, I would say you're not the father.
Texas A&M. You are not the father.
Right.
Tennessee. You are not the father.
Good one. Good one.
South Carolina. You are also not the father.
Kentucky is not the father.
Kentucky's also not the father. Ole Miss.
Auburn is not. Ole Miss, yeah.
is not the father. Oklahoma is not the father.
Mm-hmm.
Missouri is not the father. Mississippi State is not the father. Florida is not the father. Arkansas is not the father. LSU, not the father. Leaves us with two more teams. Alabama, Georgia. You're an Alabama fan. I'm a Georgia fan. Alabama is not the father.
I agree.
But guess what, Georgia? You are the father of the SEC. Also, we are doing this ever since 2020. So 2020 all the way till 2025. We're not doing this ever since college football was invented or anything like that. We're not doing that. We're just doing this decade. Are you the father this decade? Okay.
Right.
So Georgia,
RJT.
you are the father. All right. We're going to start with you are not the fathers of the ACC. Boston College, you are not the father. I
Dude.
mean, you can go ahead and stop me, or if I say a team is the father or is not the father, you can stop me and say, "Hey, bro, I think that's the father," right? But
Yeah.
I think we're probably going to agree with this one as well. We may not, I don't know, but Boston College, not the father. Cal, definitely not the father. Duke, yeah, like you said, not the father. Maybe in basketball, not in football.
Yeah.
Florida State, not the father. Sorry, buddy. Georgia Tech, not the father. Louisville, not the father. Miami, they wish they were the father. They're like the stepfather, but they're not the father. NC State Wolfpack wishes they were the father too, but they're not. North Carolina Tar Heels, they want to be the father, but they're not. They hire grandfathers as their head coach. They're definitely not the father. Pittsburgh Panthers, not the father. The Mustangs, you just got in here. You're not the father. Stanford, you just got in the conference. You're definitely not the father. Syracuse Orange, you're not the father. Virginia or Virginia Tech, not the father. Wake Forest, Demon Deacons. Isn't that like an oxymoron? Demon
Yes.
Deacons,
Oh my gosh, yes. I just
Demon
realized.
Deacons. Yeah, a demon
That's
and a
crazy.
deacon. Okay. Yeah, definitely not the father. Um, I think the only team left is the Clemson Tigers.
They are the father indeed.
Yes, you are the father,
Indeed.
Clemson.
Let's do Big 12 next.
All right, Big 12. I think this is probably
This is hard.
where this is hard. I think I mean,
Because think about it, you can't take Texas and Oklahoma. They're now in the SEC. So who the hell do we turn to, right?
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, I
is it tied? What about let me start
see.
naming some teams.
So, all right, so
BYU.
let's just start naming some. You are not the father. Let's go ahead and get the you are not the fathers out the way. Like teams
Okay.
that are definitely not the father. Baylor Bears, you are not the father. Okay, go ahead and
UCF.
UCF is not the father.
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I know they went to CFP, but they weren't in the Big 12, so you are not the father.
Arizona.
Arizona, they had one good season, but they're not the father. But they had the one good season in the Pac-12. Remember that.
Yeah.
Houston, not the father. Kansas, although they had some pretty good seasons, not the father. TCU has made a national championship, so that does put them in contention. Texas Tech, you are
You
not the
say
father.
did you say Kansas?
Kansas is not the father.
Right.
As much as I would love
Houston.
to say Utah's not the father because they had a terrible season
Really?
last season.
Yeah.
Now this is only in the Big 12. Their success only in the Big 12. So, Utah had a lot of success in the Pac-12, but they can't be the father of the Big 12 because They didn't do anything in the Big 12, so they're not the father. West Virginia, they're in contention. I'd say TCU is in contention. Oklahoma State is in contention. Kansas State's in contention. Iowa State may be in contention. Arizona State.
Please, for our boy Jeff Webster, may he rest in peace. Tell me Iowa State is the father.
I'm
I
trying to
think they
figure
got
out.
to be close. They got to be top 3, you know?
I mean, we're trying to look at the DNA test and see who the real father is.
Oklahoma State.
Colorado's definitely not the father.
Right.
And now this is only like the success in the Big 12. This is
Right.
not success. And this is since 2020, by the way, right?
Yeah.
This is not just one particular year or not just last year. So you got to completely throw away a lot of teams. I think Oklahoma State has to be definitely in contention. You can make a case for them because they're one of the OG Big 12 teams. TCU's got to be in contention. I would go ahead and eliminate West Virginia, although I would love to put them in contention for Gold and Blue Dude, but got to eliminate them. BYU had one really good season. Outside of that, they really haven't done anything. I want to go ahead and eliminate them. I'm going to be honest with you. Pick your poison. I'm going TCU. They made the national championship. Nobody else can say that on this list since 2020 in the Big 12. I mean, Arizona State made the playoffs, but they didn't make a national championship.
I could see TCU. I think they had a bad year or two. But other than that, even
I
before
say,
they made the national championship, like they were winning like 8 or 9 games.
I
You
say
know?
there's only 3 teams, in my opinion: Arizona State, Oklahoma State, and TCU that deserve to be the father. You can tell me who you think. My pick is TCU. You don't have to agree with me. You can pick another one, but my pick, TCU. You are the father. Who is Ballard's Big 12 father?
I could. Oh, Iowa State.
Iowa State. Are you locking it in?
Yeah,
They didn't even win the Big 12, but
I know, but I think on a consistent level of how good they've been, I think that's. I mean,
right.
there's a lot of
Ba-
teams that haven't won the Big 12. I mean,
Ballard
most of it's because it was Oklahoma or Texas.
Ballard is locking in Iowa State. You are the father. All
Yes,
right, that was a hard one. Okay,
that was.
um,
Yeah.
so we did. All right, so let's go to. Well, we got one more really. We already did SEC. We did ACC. We did Big 12. So we got one
We got
more.
Big Ten.
Yeah, Big 10 is the last one because we're not doing every one of them. We're just doing. And I think this is.
That's a fun segment too.
I think this one you can go ahead and eliminate a lot of teams. Wisconsin, definitely out here, not the father. USC, not the father. Let me go ahead and put up my banner. You are not the father. Wisconsin and Southern Cal. UCLA, totally not the father. Rutgers, not the father. Purdue, not the father. Northwestern, not the father. Nebraska, they want to be
Minnesota.
the father. They're not the father. Minnesota, not the father. Michigan State, not the father. Maryland, not the father. Iowa made a couple Big Ten championships, lost, not the father. Indiana made the playoffs, not the father. Indiana,
Had one good year.
Illinois, they they had a really good season last year. They had a couple good seasons. Brett Bielema's pretty good head coach. Still not the father though. I think it comes down to a couple of teams. Ballard,
I
Washington.
think
They
it
made.
comes down to. I would say five.
I
Five
would.
teams.
I would say Washington. They made the national championship under Kalen DeBoer. Versus the other team that's in contention right now, which is Michigan. Another team that's in contention is obviously the reigning defending national champions, Ohio State, Oregon, and Penn State.
I think of those, it does get tricky, and there's time like there. It's very close. I gotta say, even though they can't get over the Michigan hump, and it's been a minute since they won the Big Ten. I think if you look historically all time, I gotta say Ohio State.
Well, we're looking
Is that
since
fair?
2020.
Oh, since 2020, give me Michigan.
That's what I was going to say. Michigan, you are the father
Yeah, you
this
cheated,
decade.
but you cheated on your wives, but you're the father.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely are the father.
You like what you see what I did there?
Yeah, yeah. I love. I mean, you cheated on baby mama, but you're definitely the father. I I love it.
All right,
Uh, I
that was
thought that was
awesome.
I thought that was a great segment, and we definitely went 2 hours today. So that was
Heck
2 hours
yeah!
and 1 minute. So I think this is great time that we could end the stream. And we had a lot of segments, some important. Except we had some important segments, we had some funny segments, and we had some really sad segments. I think we had a roller coaster of a stream. So if you like the content, smash the thumbs up. And if you really like the content, you know what to do.
Hit that
Hit the subscribe button. It's completely
Love y'all.
free.
Yep.